Good afternoon. This is Sarah Honeydew for JNS Biblical Productions on July 28, 1923. We are at the Palace Hotel in San Francisco about to explore a subject from Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 7:16-20, where Jesus pointed out that a person can be known by the fruits he produces, good or bad. We are now going to speak with President Warren G. Harding about the alleged scandals that seem to be brewing at the White House. Mr. President. Now, Mr. President, there seems to be some talk that your Secretary of the Interior, Albert Fall, sold the national oil reserves, the Teapot Dome in Wyoming, to a private company, Mammoth Oil Company, and received $400 for it in a herd of cattle? Is this something that you encouraged him to do?
Miss Honeydew, may I call you Sarah?
Yes.
There are so many rumors flying around about Teapot Dome in Wyoming that I haven't had the chance to look at them all. But I will ask my Attorney General to look into it. And also, I've always trusted my Secretary of the Interior with handling his business. So, if there's some sort of a mistake or some sort of misunderstanding, that's all it could be.
So, Mr. President, are you telling me that you don't know anything that is going on in your own cabinet?
Miss Honeydew, I had to bring a lot of distinguished men from Marion, Ohio, because I was an outsider to Washington. You see, my experience and background was only as the owner of the newspaper, the Marion Star. I was elected on a platform, return to normalcy. No more messing around in that European business. That's what the people wanted. An outsider, a common man in the White House. I have to go by my gut feelings when I make decisions.
I see. But what about Jess Smith, personal aide to Attorney General Doherty, who apparently was the bagman for the Teapot Dome operation? Did you know about him?
No, not until recently. I found out that he destroyed the papers and committed suicide after I demanded his resignation. That was a total shock and unexpected by all of us.
All right, so what about Attorney General Doherty then?
I had complete confidence in him, and yet for some reason, he was charged by the House Judiciary Committee with failure to enforce antitrust, war profiteering, and prohibition laws, and then abuse of pardon privileges and hiring undesirables. I don't know what else to say. It was a surprise.
Mr. President, these cabinet members are your fruits, the products of the executive branch that you are responsible for. Are there other branches of the government under your presidential supervision that you don't know what they do either?
Well, there was the Veterans Bureau. That director, Charles Forbes, drew a 2-year sentence for skimming proceeds from the sale of war surplus goods, and then diverted drugs and alcohol from the veterans' hospitals to bootleggers and narcotics dealers. But no evidence was found to date that suggested that I personally profited from such crimes. Also, it's a shame that his aide, Charles Kramer, committed suicide. Maybe he had a weak character or was out of his element in Washington. I don't know.
You know, I have been listening to all this, and you have a lot of bad apples working for you that come from a bad tree. That's you. We have to judge you by what you produce and the corrupt results.
Now, that's not fair. I didn't know anything of what was going on around me. I'm just the president. I just handle presidential matters. Those other people handle details.
That is the worst statement I've ever heard the President of the United States make. That the people below you have to deal with the slime in the White House while you spend your free time on the little house on K Street.
Now, that also is not fair. My cabinet members can discuss any necessary business over our nightly poker games. Anything demanding my attention or signature can come up then. Yes.
That sounds disgusting. And by the way, your mistress that you used to meet in hotels under an alias name and in the White House closet, well, she finally wrote a book called The President's Daughter.
I'll be.
And I have some pictures here.
Oh, isn't she cute? Oh, that's sweet. You have a lot of them.
You should too.
You'd think she'd be more quiet about that. I gave her $500 a month faithfully through Tim Slade of the Secret Service for our daughter Elizabeth Ann. I couldn't tell anybody about her. Rules of society are against that sort of thing.
Another one of your fruits of office. I also have a news clipping here of Nan and Elizabeth Ann.
Oh, she looks upset in that picture, doesn't she? Heaven help us. All she wanted was social justice for all little children.
Mr. President, you know there's some truth to what Ms. Sedgway is saying. And I don't think that government business should be bandied over a poker game. As in Matthew 7:18, it says that a good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, and neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. So to our viewers, I say, what are your fruits? Because wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them. And that's Matthew 7:20. And this is Sarah Honeydew for JNS saying, heaven help us and good night.
What are your thoughts on today's story? We'd like to know. So, leave a comment and subscribe to our channel, JNS Authentic Biblical Productions. Whether it's the Word of God through parables, true stories illustrating parables, or true stories in the life of Jesus Christ with commentary, you can see them all by subscribing to the most comprehensive collection of videos of biblical stories for you and your family. Have a blessed day.